Hey, this is Chantel Girardi from Online Business Marketing, and in today's session, I'm going to share with you the online event marketing strategies, all the strategies, all the different types of events that you can have, how you can use it as a lead generation tool, what to do on social media to get more visibility, and more. So I think so many of my clients are doing events, whether or not they are retreats, whether or not they're webinars, whether or not they're in-person events. And at the end of the day, what's the whole purpose? The whole purpose is to use that as a lead generation tool to be able to get more customers, so more leads and more customers in. So it's never about just visibility. It's never just about engagement. It's never just about giving out good content. It's about using it as a hook to shorten the length of the time that it takes for them to actually buy from us. Or sometimes it's straight away to buy from us. And I am going to share with you the difference between paid events versus non-paid events, so pros and cons. So at the end of the day, I really love online events because I feel like or any event, I love it because it does engage your audience. So it does really shorten that whole know, like, and trust. Rather than them see you the whole time on social media again and again, which is absolutely great and fantastic. When they meet you, there's something really special about online, or even better in person, about shortening that distance. It is a great way for you to be able to generate leads and shorten that sales cycle, and for you to build your brand authority, and basically create a community around your business. Okay, so as long as it's part of a bigger picture. So whether or not it is a webinar, a virtual workshop, a live Q&A session, maybe it's just a product, launching of a product and sharing that. With what it is, at the end of the day, it's all about how you market it, because else you're going to have no one at your event. Now, I was saying this to someone last week. I once did have, I think, only one person registered for an event. I'd hired out a room. So it was actually an in-person event. I had only 10 spaces in the room. I got a facilitator to help me, which means we could only have 9 people in the room. I think it was $200 per person for a half-day event. I only had one person book and pay for it. And all I did, and I'll share this with you now because it's the true story and it's something you can do. I went out and I just said to other people, oh, I've just got one space left and I'd like to gift that to you. Would you like to come? And I basically gifted the last spot, which was almost every spot, to people in my network, referral partners, people that had been following me for a long time, cheerleaders, past clients, got them in again. Why? Because then I could use the data, I could use the images, I could use the reviews, to then market the next event. Okay. And I think if people had to ask me what was the issue with that event, I think it was the timing. People had said to me Saturday would be a better day than Friday. And I'd been doing Friday workshops and they were fine. And as soon as I did Saturday, I had no one come. So it just shows you. But sometimes people say, yeah, do this. And actually it's worse. So Fridays seem to work better, not Saturdays. So timing's really important when you have these events. So as I said, absolutely imperative that this is part of a bigger picture. It's part of your overall strategy on how to actually generate more lead generation. How can you actually target your audience, build trust, and demonstrate your expertise so that then you can sell them to something, right? Because there's always going to be an offer at the end. So the reason these works particularly well is because not only are you just showing them your expertise, but there's an opportunity then for you to connect to you at a deeper level and a more personable level, whether or not it's online or in person, and also just to answer those questions so they can stay connected to you. So there definitely needs to be a clear registration process. The amount of people that I have seen send people from one place to the next place, then to the next place, then to the next place, to the next place, then to the next place to register for an event. And then they wonder why they don't. So it's absolutely imperative that you have one place that you are sending everybody to, and it's a place that you can get the email addresses from so that you can nurture those leads, and also nurture them to show up, because getting to show up is a whole different ball game. But it is important because you should get their names, you should get their emails, and hopefully you can also get their mobile numbers. You could also potentially use some qualifying questions as well. Just remembering that the more questions you ask, if you make it too hard or too much for them to fill in, they may not attend. So if there is a need for you to have that information, make sure that you clearly outline it, why you're asking for that information. They're more likely to fill it in. And then, as I said, the show up is so important. So once you get them to register, if they have not paid, so if there's no monetary buy-in, we've now got to get them to show up, which means we've got to give them an excitement phase and keep them engaged so they actually attend the event. And then, of course, post-event, you've got to make sure you nurture those leads and share with them your potential offer or something that you're offering anyway. So to go over a couple of lead generation events that you could use. So we said webinars, virtual workshops, live Q&A sessions, online summits, product demos, panel discussions, or even an online challenge are some good suggestions. So number one, let's look at using social media at how we can actually market these events. So Facebook event, firstly, I love Facebook, so let's start with that. Firstly, you can actually go onto your Facebook page and you can create the event. So you want to make sure that the event page has a clear and catchy name, especially the first 3 to 5 words that are outcome focused or beneficial focus. So for example, Master Social Media Marketing in 2024, free virtual workshop. So those first 3 to 5 words, it's absolutely imperative that they stop the right person from scrolling and get them to actually click into the event and look. Then you need to make sure that you contain all the relevant information in there, your key speakers, your schedule, and the registration process. Because people are inclined to click the going button on Facebook the entire time, interested or going, that's great, but they haven't actually registered. And what we want them to do is to go to that one place that you have set up. So throughout your information where you write it, keep saying register here and put the link, register here, put the link, register here, put the link. So they're less likely wanting to put to just click going, that they actually can register for it. What you can do is if they have clicked interested or going, you can then send them a personal DM and you can say in the personal DM, hey, just checking that you actually have completed the registration process. Here's the link. Because many people, as I said, click interested or going, but don't actually click the actual registration link that you want them to click. So you've got to make sure that it's perfectly clear on the next step that you want them to do. When it comes to your banner inside the Facebook event as well, you want to keep all the important information to the center so that when you check it on a mobile, all the important event stuff is in the center. So when you go into Canva and you use those beautiful templates, unfortunately, they've got all the information on the outside and not on the inside. It needs to be the other way around. It's better to have you and your islands and everything else on the outside and then have all the important information in the middle for a mobile. So then it's Facebook groups. So if you have your own Facebook group, you can actually firstly go and create a post inside that Facebook group and you can pin the event to the top of your group. So therefore it becomes a featured or pinned post. The other thing that you could do is you could add everyone when you do your content to say, here we go, I'm inviting you to this event. But as the admin of the account, you can go create the event in your Facebook group. And just before you push post, as it is today on the 2nd of September in 2024, you can also do a little tick as well. And it says invite everyone in your group to this event. So they will get, Chantel Girardi has invited you to the Master Your Social Media event. So they'll get that notification as well. And then, of course, no matter what you do on Facebook, it's going to be regular post reminders with unique angles about what's in it for them for registering, what's in it for them for this event. So looking at their pain points, looking at convincers, looking at the know, like, and trust. So why you, why this, and making sure that you establish yourself as your authority in the space so they get excited about coming, okay, to the event. Cool. So our next one then is the Google My Business listing. So many people don't realize that Google My Business is actually a social media platform. It's one of the most important because Google's the #1 search engine. So inside Google My Business, as of this date, you can go in and you can go post and update, and there's then an option to add the event. And the event will stay live on Google My Business until it has actually run its course. So it's important for you to go and add your event using keywords that your audience would be searching for with high quality visuals and then a direct registration link. And that's one of the marvelous things about Google My Business is that there is actually a registration link that you can go in and you can put the direct link to where you want them to go to, which is awesome for Google My Business. So let's talk about LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, besides creating content on your LinkedIn personal profile and company pages, letting people know again what's in it for them, to attend this event, you can actually go and create a LinkedIn event. So you can go and add the title, the time, the description, the speakers, and a call to action to register them. Again, if they click interested or going to the event in LinkedIn, you can send them a DM and say, hey, we just noticed you registered on LinkedIn for this event, and always give them the title so they remember, and just say, please complete your registration process by completing this form, Yep. So you just want to make sure that that they're not just clicking interested or going. Again, they actually are utilizing your registration links so that you can send them that excitement phase. You can send them that show up sequence. You can follow up with them after that event. Okay, so Facebook and Instagram stories and reels. So stories. So you can promote your event using stories. And as always, whatever feature we use across the platforms, we want to make sure that we use them correctly. So when it comes to stories, it's always about using the countdown stickers, the polls, the behind the scene content, using that little square smiley face and putting as many animation, not as many, sorry, I'm taking that back. Putting in tasteful animations, because I don't believe in the overuse of GIFs or emojis, but little arrows to point to the registration link, a little title to say, hey, this is what's in it for you. And then, of course, you've got the little drop down arrow, which many people don't know about at this day and age. Again, what it is today is a drop down arrow, and you can actually add the registration link there again. So make sure that you go in and you do that. So in stories as well, with a little square smiley face, there's also a hashtag, and there's any other ats and location places that you can add as well, if that's going to help you to be seen by more people by using those features. So let's talk reels. When it comes to Instagram or Facebook reels, as it is of today, I always post my reels on Facebook, meaning that my Facebook engagement is always so much more because it automatically shares to my Instagram page. If you're wanting to increase your followers and increase your reach on Instagram, it would be better for you to create the reel on Instagram and then share it across to Facebook. Okay. Because where you post it first is primarily where you're going to get the most reach. And of course, then use the most features that you would for that platform. Always respect the platform and the audience on there. So make sure that the reels are short and engaging, even though you can use, I think, a minute 30 right now for a reel. I think most people watch up to about 15 seconds. So even if you know that, make sure that when they get to 15 seconds, make sure that the quality of your content doesn't diminish, because they'll just stop watching. So make sure that it's short, it's snappy, punchy, and it keeps them entertained during that course. Then you want to make sure that you're encouraging your audience to click the link in the bio, because obviously in Instagram, you can't, in the content, have clickable links, which means the links for reels and for your posts and your carousels has to be click the link in the bio. And of course, in the bio, you've got your link. So therefore, are you going to add your link tree? Are you just going to change it to the registration page link so that you've got that in there? You just want to make sure that they go there. There's nothing worse than when they say click the link in the bio and you go there and it's not there. It drives me nuts. Okay, I want to talk about Meetup and Eventbrite, because a lot of people don't fully utilize these platforms. However, there are people or communities already built within Eventbrite and Meetup where people are actively searching for events. So people are there searching for events, and this is an event. So you really should also then have your event on Meetup and Eventbrite. So with Meetup, you can tap into local communities that are interested in your topic. Make sure that when you set up your event, it has a description, a catchy title, and of course your registration link. You then want to engage with group members that are contributing to any discussions that you may have. And you want to continually go in and check your Meetup account, because I've fallen short by doing this before, is where I set it and I forget it. And really, you need to go in and you need to just engage with those people again, direct message them if you can, if their message settings are set up, so that you can go in and say, here's the registration link. Looking forward to seeing you there. Do you have any questions? Okay. It's all in the F word, follow through. Follow through, follow through, follow through with your event marketing. Next is Eventbrite. So set up Eventbrite. However, I don't like Eventbrite as being your lead capture for event marketing. I prefer you to have your own registration link, your own lead form where you're capturing leads. However, you can still use Eventbrite, but use your registration link for them to sign up, because Eventbrite is actually quite a clunky platform. And I've tested and measured this, and a lot of people don't show up for Eventbrite events that are registered through Eventbrite because they just don't know where to find the details again. The reminders are not great. I prefer to have control over that. So if I get the lead on my, if I get the registration or lead on my form, my registration form, I can now follow up with those people and get them to show up, and I can follow up with them after the event. Eventbrite has those features, very clunky. I don't like it. Then, of course, it's your email list. So already going into your email list and looking at how can you communicate this event to your current email list. Are there past attendees? Are there VIP clients? Are there prospects? What have they previously shown interest in? And then can you send teaser emails to them to build up excitement and say to them, register for this event? You then obviously, once they register, as I said, you're then going to put them into a separate segment where you're now going to give them a show up sequence with reminders and then a follow up sequence afterwards as well. Now, this one's an overlooked one, and it's highly, highly valuable. You want to make sure that you're collaborating with your partners. So I like to call them cheerleaders, and I've got a cheerleader board, and they are the people that I know that I could send the event to and say, would you mind posting this on your socials, or would you mind sending this out on your email list? And they are people that I know would do the same thing for me, and I would happily do it for them. So it's about going to your partners and make it real easy for them. Give them a script. So the script would say, hey, one of my amazing friends in business, Chantel Durati, is running this webinar on mastering your social media. And I thought you may want to check it out because I know that some of your community may be interested in this. She's absolutely stellar. And I think that your audience would benefit from what she's about to share. She's going to share on these different 5 topics and solve these 4 different problems. And her previous clients said this about her. Here's the registration link if any of you think that you may be interested in tagging along. So you want to write it for them, send it to them so it makes it real easy to copy, paste, and send. Now, please don't do this because I've seen this happen 1,000 times where somebody has about 20 referral partners. They send the same script out to all 20 people, and now on social media, everybody's posting the same thing. Make sure that you tailor it to their audience and in their tone and voice so that it's authentic to their audience, because you'll actually get more signups anyway. Because else what's going to happen is people are just not going to share it because it sounds yucky. It's just inauthentic. So then they could share it through their emails, across their socials, and it's a win-win for both parties. Just make sure that you reciprocate if they were to ask you to do the same thing for them. That's called an asset swap. So if you've got assets, they've got assets, you go, right, I'll put on social media, you put on social media, and you do a swap. You just want to make sure that you have the same audience and there's no conflict. All right. So how do you choose what hashtags to use? So firstly, let's just say that all platforms are different. So how we use hashtags on Facebook is different to how we use them on Instagram, which is different to how we use them on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, it is what it is. On Facebook, you don't really need to use them because it's kind of like Google where the words are search words, and people on Facebook don't generally go and search hashtags to follow. However, on Instagram, obviously people use hashtags, and they use everything from popular ones to less popular ones, and you need to have a mix of both. So when choosing between your hashtags, you may choose to have your own particular hashtag for that event. So if you're running the same events all the time, you may wish to have the same one. Or perhaps you just wish to have your own one. So for example, my hashtag is Chantel Said. So if you go onto Facebook, I had a look across all the platforms. There wasn't a lot of people who had Chantel Said. So I've just got the hashtag Chantel Said, which I've created, which I use for my events. And then you want to make sure that you're respecting the platform, respecting the audience, and how you communicate the value of what you're doing. So you want industry relevant hashtags, you want topic related hashtags, and you want hashtags that your target audience are looking for, searching for online. We want trending ones, but we also don't want to overly use generic hashtags, because if they're overly generic and there's millions or billions of people watching it, then you're going to be so far down the thread that nobody's going to see your stuff. So you want to keep the hashtag short, memorable, and easy to spell to encourage attendees to use them. I also have by mistake a few times used a hashtag and I've used the incorrect spelling, and I actually ended up on a hashtag list with incorrect spelling that actually other people were also doing the incorrect spelling, and now we were all in front of each other with the same target audience interested in the same thing, and we all just have bad spelling. So it's a funny one, but it did work. So I'm not going to say don't use it as a strategy because it actually did work. So go in and have a look, especially with IE words and EI words and OU and no use. So all right, so let's talk about paid versus free. I get all these people coming in straight away and go, I deserve to be paid. So I'm going to go out and straight away I'm going to be paid. I actually had a psychologist who did this because she, earns a lot per hour. And she was like, I'm going to charge all these people hundreds of dollars per hour to put them into a group and do it. And I said to her, you've never done this group workshop before. You don't have an engaged social media following or a hot audience. You don't have a big hot audience. You don't have an email list as well. It's going to take a long time to build that know, like, and trust and that content to get them hand over a large sum of money to a stranger to get them to come to an event. You're more likely to offer a low cost or no cost event, get them to come in. They'll build that know, like, and trust when they come in, and then they will sign up to your program. So free events can attract a larger audience, but it can also then stop the barrier to entry. So those people may be coming just for free stuff and not for paid stuff, but you can use particular qualifiers, especially in the content marketing that you use. But it can be great for building brand awareness and growing your email list and generating leads. I did this recently with a client where we did a high-priced offer, and she was selling heaps of high-priced offers off of the back of a webinar. And she was like, a lot of people didn't have that kind of money for that, but they were the right people. So we created a lower priced offer and was then able to go retarget those people into a downsell for a lower priced offer. So we do want to make sure that we are tracking committed attendees, and we want to make sure that we have a motivated audience that are willing to invest time and money in what it is. But your content and how you market it is going to qualify those people. So ultimately the choice between paid and free events depends on your specific objectives. I know plenty of successful business owners that do heaps of free events and generate thousands and thousands of dollars on repeat from those events. Should they be charging for the events? Yes, they could. But guess what? They are making so much money off the back of those free events. Why would they? So if it's working, why wouldn't they? So an event listing template. So for our live audience today, I've actually created an event listing template, which is right from 4 to 6 weeks before an event, what you should start doing before the event, at 3 to 4 weeks, what you should be doing to market the event, 2 weeks, what you should be doing 1 week, 3 days before, and then the day of the event. And don't forget, then you've also got a follow-up sequence and a downsell sequence or re-engagement sequence afterwards to send. So I'm going to do that with our live audience. If you want to be part of the live audience, you do need to be a current client or a VIP member. You can check the comments to inquire about either of those.